The magic win, baby. Welcome in, second cousins. It's good to have you here. My name is Kyle. I'm joined, as always, by my cousin, my co-host, Jason the Pich. And Pich, wow, snapping the Cavs 16-game win streak, 108 to 103. Played them right down to the wire. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope finally hit a big shot and then hits a couple big free throws, and the Magic walk out of Cleveland with a win, something they weren't able to do all last postseason and got embarrassed with a 40-point drubbing earlier in the year. It does feel good to get this victory, Pish.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, you got to keep it 100 here. Keep it a buck, as the kids say nowadays. Evan Mobley not playing in this game was a big loss for them.
Yeah, Jalen Suggs and Moritz Wagner for us playing, not a huge loss for us.
Yeah, it is, but I don't know if those guys being back makes us even when they have Evan Mobley.
Sure.
So I hear you.
Yeah.
But I'm using this as a comparison stick for us. This is going to be my theme of the show here because, we recently did a couple of segments where I talked about kind of wanting the tank a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I was just more saying, like, if we play well from now to the end of the season, they won't make moves because they'll think, oh, we found it. We figured it out.
Right.
And the only reason our record is so bad is because we were missing some key players in the middle of the season. So I'm just worried about the future by thinking that. But I think enough has been discussed about, we need to make moves. And I think they'll realize that they do have to make moves. Because listen, what are the problems the Orlando Magic have had all season? Can't hit the three ball. Okay, well, today they could shoot the three ball, right? And it was going down. And the other problems they have are not getting any of their scoring other than Franz or Paulo. And today they got other scoring other than Franz and Paulo. Mm-hmm. Everything that the Magic needed, including a good performance from KCP, as you mentioned, that's the guy we wanted in free agency right there. That's the guy hitting some key threes, playing good lockdown D, and being that vet down the stretch. But all of those things don't happen very often. When they do, we do tend to win. And shit.
Yes.
Even if like 3 of 4 of the things that we don't do very well, even if 2 of the happen, we can still sometimes win. But today we had them all working, and the Cavs stunk from 3 today. Sam Merrill went like 1 for 7 from 3. Like, I mean, the Cavs shot under, I think, what they normally shoot for 3. I think they went 10 for 40 from 3 today.
Yeah.
They're not going to shoot that poor most games, right? So this is a combination of our team playing well. We played some great defense, and we played some good offense as well. And they played poorly for what they do. So you can use it as a measuring stick if you want. For me, it's a positive because now I feel like if this team is going to be that team that sneaks in at 7 or 8 and we can play the Cavs in the first round, there's nobody I'd rather play in the first round than the Cavs, even though in a 7-game series, all things being equal, I don't think we win it. But we have the confidence that we can beat this team, and we have a chip on our shoulder. We can beat this team. Paulo wants to beat this team pretty badly. And in fact, Ty Jerome, who acts like he's prime Steph Curry sometimes the way he celebrates, you come off the bench for a team, bro. Settle the hell down. You know what? Bye, Jerome. You guys and your 16-game win streak, it's over now. But point being, their bench players, their role guys didn't step up as much today either. So like for all the things that we had that were actually working today that we hoped would work so we could win games, for the Cavs, they weren't working today. And you know what? They won 16 games in a row. They're probably getting tired. It's probably wearing on them. These things happen over the course of a season. It was a big win for the Magic, though, and I think for our team in the locker room, a lot of good things happened there. If I haven't mentioned his name yet, Anthony Black was my standout player of this game. I felt he played phenomenal defense, frustrating Donovan Mitchell in that first half, helping us during a span where we turned him over a couple times in the backcourt. He was hitting 3-pointers. He was contributing on offense. I don't know why Corey Joseph is getting as many minutes as he is, but it worked today. Anthony Black get those minutes that Corey Joseph is getting, and down the stretch, because he was kind of kicking it, he kind of got more minutes, which was good. I just feel like there's more upside for Anthony Black. You mentioned it in the video we did, that we want to see what he can do. Give him the minutes, let him see if he can develop. Meanwhile, you've got Corey Joseph's a guy who's probably not going to be on the squad in a couple of years, and you know what, he's playing pretty well to his credit. He's doing what we ask him to do. But let's see what we've got here in this run down down the stretch. But it seems like we're really desperate to win. And if that's what we're going to do, and that's the way we're going to play, and if we're going to play like this all the way, we may go undefeated the rest of the season. But I don't know if we're going to always shoot that well, always get those kind of performances. I'm going to kick it to you for some thoughts from you, because I've been talking for a long time. But don't think because you see those numbers in the stat line that WCJ's off the hook with me at all, because he played okay at points in this game. And you see that he had 14 boards and 16 points, but he still gets out-muscled way too often. I'm going to save that for later, because we had a good positive entry to this big win for us today. So Kyle, what do you got? I know you were nervous because you fell asleep for a little bit.
I did fall asleep for a little while. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been a lazy Sunday for me. But yeah, don't worry, Pich. We're not going to go undefeated, because we will not shoot 40%, 41% from beyond the arc. I don't think that's a problem that you need to worry about. After 3 really ugly losses from our Orlando Magic, 2 to the Raptors, who are trying to lose, to the Bulls. Actually, we lost 5 in a row. I'm sorry. To the Cavs, where we got drubbed by 40. Then we had the Warriors. Okay, those are fine to lose those games. Then we dropped 2 to the Raptors, who were trying to lose, and then the Bulls. That's when the sky was falling for me, and probably some of you out there, second cousins. And right around that time was when Pich and I, we did our last 2 segments. Pich, you brought out the tank, and I was pulling my hair out about what's going on with Anthony Black. Why the hell is he not starting? That question still has not been answered. Okay.
Right.
If you think that Corey Joseph gives you a better chance to win, Coach Mosley, well then shit, we have a problem, because Anthony Black is supposed to be our point guard moving into the future. It's his second year. I know he's still just barely got hair on his chin, but he needs to figure it out with Paulo and Franz both on the floor at the same time. And so let's get those minutes happening. He played really, really well, as you said, hit a couple threes. I think he had 17 points. Let me see here. Yeah, 17 points. Yes. Goes 3 of 3 from beyond the arc with some big threes in the fourth quarter. He was balling, and he ended up with about the same minutes, 22 minutes as compared to Corey Joseph's 24. But a lot of those minutes, again, are staggered with either one of Paulo Banchero or Franz Wagner. And Coach Mosley, team, I still want to see Anthony Black getting all the minutes. It's nice to get these wins, but give me my Anthony Black minutes. I was talking about after those losses, we beat the Bucks. Like, that is nice to see us bouncing back against a competitive team. We're starting to really lock down on defense, kick up the intensity. Felt like that game was playoff intensity. Then we drop one to the Rockets, pretty ugly. Come back and beat the Pelicans, which you need to do. Lose to the Timberwolves in a competitive affair. And now you beat the Cavs. We're in the 8th place spot right now. I think we're a game or a half game behind the Hawks. And you bring up an interesting question, Pich, and that's why I'm not like, I would rather have the Anthony Black minutes. I'm not desperate to get these wins. I don't mind being in the 8th place spot, because then, like you said, you come in, you play the Cavs. It is a redo of last year. Our team knows the Cavs inside and out. And I don't really feel like we have a good shot to beat the Cavs or the Celtics in a first-round series, but because we've measured the Cavs so much in the past couple years, and Paulo really has a chip, thank you, Ty Jerome, I think I would prefer to play them in the first round, because we know we can do it and we can take them to 7, and who the heck knows? Like, you catch an injury, knock on wood, don't want to really wish for injuries, but they happen. You catch just guys on an off night like we did here with the Cavs. They can't shoot. All of a sudden, they go into a slump. Then, shit, who knows? You catch lightning in a bottle and maybe you can beat that team. I just don't feel the same way against the Celtics, because we don't have as much face-to-face combat with them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like, if you're going to play both these things and you have an opportunity of the two, which one would I rather play? I'd rather play the devil I know real well.
Yeah, exactly.
And even in that 7-game series last year, they were missing Jared Allen, and I think he is very important to their game down low. So, I mean, Every time we've played them, it seems like one of those dudes is missing, and yet they're still a very good basketball team that on a regular day is probably going to beat us. So that's the kind of thing that you need to have happen. But at least our team has a vibe that, like, hey, we can stay with this team. We're in the conversation with this team. And I can just tell by the way our guys are, and I wouldn't have expected any less, right? You're in this season, you're on this team right now. What are you going to do, right? You're going to go out, you're going to try hard, you're going to try to win these ball games. We're going to end up in that 7, 8, 9 situation, right? So like better off to try to shoot that 7-1 and get that first game at home to solidify the spot. Yeah. It's not like in the old days where you could kind of, well, if we just keep just a good enough record to hang in that 8th spot, then we can play the Cavs in the first round. It comes down to a 1-game
no
shoot,
guarantee.
So you don't really want, you don't really want to get into that. So just try to be there, try to get that home court for that one game, win that game, be 7. I think that's probably about our best shot at this point.
Wendell goes for 16 and 14, and you teased earlier that you weren't pleased with the effort. That's what you want from him, right? He hit a couple threes.
Listen, okay, first of all, those numbers get really inflated, especially in the rebound department when the other team shoots a shot and they don't come in to rebound. Yeah. So those get a little inflated. He would try hard for like a play here, a series there, maybe like a couple minute span where you're like, oh, all right. But then like at the end of the game, towards the end of the game, he gets boxed out by Donovan Mitchell for a rebound. And then Mitchell gets an easy layup. Like you can't have that kind of stuff. Like even at the end of the game, Jared Allen just was dominating him, getting position on the inside. Like he's soft. He's a soft big man. He gets those numbers because he's out there for 35 minutes, and it's kind of hard to not amass some points. Like he did hit a couple shots here and there, but he missed a lot of mid-range shots that he has to have fall. In a game like today, we need 20 plus from him, right, to win these games normally. If they're shooting better, we needed him to shoot better to compensate. Like a lot of other things worked out, but I'm looking at what I see from him, and it's the same every game, right? And every once in a while, I'll have a good run, and all of a sudden he'll get a ball inside, and he'll throw down a fearsome dunk, and you're like, oh, well, there you go. That's what you need from him. That's what we need for you for all 35 minutes, instead of just like probably a 15-minute span of that time where it was like, oh, Wendell's playing well for this 15 minutes, but he's in the game for 20 other minutes where he's like pretty just a guy. And like, that's a spot where we can really improve. And I was surprised to not see Goga out there today instead of him to bang bodies with. Goga didn't even get into late third. I don't know what that's about. I just don't understand why, Goga cooled off a little bit after his hot streak, but like, this is a game where he should be in if he can play, right? Like if it's Evan Mobley, maybe you go with Wendell, but like, if it's their big beefy guy, throw our big beefy guy out there. Like I just didn't understand that from a matchup perspective, but maybe they know something. I don't know. I expect Cole Anthony would have had more minutes if he didn't have that sore toe. Maybe that would have changed who started. I still would rather see Cole Anthony in there starting even rather than Corey Joseph, but everything worked today for the Magic, and they won by 5 on the road against the best team with the best record in the NBA. So that's what needs to happen if you're going to win those kind of games. So we have to just stay a little bit like, okay, well, hopefully the team give this kind of effort and go into the playoffs with some momentum. Right. Are we capable of pulling on a first round offset? I don't think so against the Celtics or Cavs. I wouldn't put the money on it, but of course we're going to root for it, right? And the guys are going to fight for it like they've never fought before. And it would be great for the Cavs Magic rivalry if they met in the first round and the Magic could push them. Oh, it'd be so good for the future of the Eastern Conference. But I don't know. I don't know if we'll get it. We'll see.
That would be nice. Set up another first round matchup, go another 7 games, toe to toe, hard fought. I mean, you could tell this game was chippy. Like these teams are really building a detest for each other, and that's the type of basketball you like to watch. I'm kind of sick of everyone's bro, and we're all hanging out, going on banana boats together in the off season. Like, let's hate each other a little bit, please. And we have a little bit of that happening here in the Cavs Magic series. And as a Magic fan, and maybe you are tuning in here, Cavs fans, it's good to see. And we're tempered here. We know it was Donovan Mitchell missed a couple games. He's coming back. Evan Mobley's been out. Those are key pieces. But looking at our guys, man, Paulo's just playing with an edge as of late. The efficiency wasn't great today, but some of his previous games have been. Third quarters have been a big struggle for our Orlando Magic, and it was nice to see them actually win one 35-23 emphatically this time around. And something else that's really nice for me in this game, Peach, the parts that I did catch of it, is Franz Wagner. early on, man, sometimes Franz and the 2-point game 7 is well documented or whatever, and how poorly he felt about that. And he did have some key absences during that series, also some really good games. But this one looked like it was going the way of, Franz doesn't have it. He kind of missed a couple near the rim early on, and Franz can have those. If his touch isn't there, you're like, ooh, this might be a 12-point night, 15-point night for him if things aren't falling. But he kept with it, comes through in the fourth quarter. He has the majority of his points in that quarter, 9 points, 4 of 5 from the field. And it was just nice to see him grit through it after, I'm sure I have nightmares about him going down the lane and being blocked by Evan Mobley to end game 7. So it's nice for him especially to continue to grind and see things to a different outcome this time to hopefully reverse some of the juju from that game 7 for him.
Yeah, you're right. Usually if Franz starts bad, he doesn't heat back up, but he did in this one at some key times. And that's the thing that the Magic have not seen. It's another factor I didn't even mention that we normally don't see, is that, like, if Paulo or Franz is off, then they're just off all day. They don't come back, but Franz came back too. So like I said, almost everything that normally doesn't go well for us, or something that for us, went well today. And that's what you had to have to win by 5 against the best team in the NBA. And, it was good to see that for me personally, because I've watched, I think, every nationally televised game we've had this year. I've watched a number of games, but man, the record in games I've watched this year has been really poor. So I was glad to see us actually get a victory. I don't know if it motivated any of you out there, Magic fans, but it motivated me. We're about to go to Florida and watch this team play 2 games, and my vibes are bad.
Yeah.
So at least the vibes are back up for a little while, so we can go do this. We're going to have some fun while we're down there, and hopefully you can join us too. Kyle, tell you more.
March 29th. The link is in the details. We got tons of giveaways. It's just going to be great to get together. There's a ticket discount off of the face value. So we're going to be in section 109, I think. Yeah, it was tough, man. With all these losses, I was like, damn, I'm always excited to go down to Orlando and hang out with the second cousins, the Court Cousins community, the extended family down there. So it was never a bad thing to get out of cold Connecticut and down to Florida. But we haven't ever lost a family reunion game, Pich. So the pressure was on. I was a little bit worried, and we're playing the Kings. We'll see. They're the Bulls of the West Coast now with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. So,
well, so Wendell have a big night then.
Yeah, there you go. Does that work? Is that like what's that? The law of attribution or something? If A equals B and B equals A, then A. You know what I mean. Hope to see you down there for Court Cousins night, Pich. I am looking forward to seeing you down on there at the end of this month, man. It's coming up.
It's coming up very soon. It sounds like we're going to be doing some fun things over there. So I'm excited. Anybody sees what we're doing, we post. If I'm posting on Instagram or Twitter or whatever we're doing, come join us. We're going to eat a bunch of tacos.
Always do. If you have recommendations about restaurants that we need to hit or activities that we need to do, please let us know. And if you're down there, we'll see you then. Peace out, second cousins. I'll just end it right there.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.